Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, all the devotees. Today we have two shlokas of Bhagavad-gītā and two shloka. One is of the previous part and one is starting with the new part. So we'll start with the shloka recitation and its translation first. We'll recite both the shlokas, translation, and then we'll understand what Krishna is trying to tell to the Arjuna. So Bhagavad-gītā 2.46 यावानर्थ उदपाने सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानता यावानर्थ उदपाने सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानता यावानर्थ उदपाने सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानता. Will not take a recitation as the time is less. Translation: all purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind the Vedas, behind them. Okay. And the next verse is the very famous shloka, uh, where everyone we have somewhere we could have heard. So that is Bhagavad-gītā 2.47. So we should know where it is. Karmannevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur ma te sangosva akarmani. Karmannevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbhur ma te sangosva akarmani. Karmannevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana Ma karma phala heturbhur mate sangosva akarmani. So in this shloka, we could have heard only first line. कर्मण्य वादिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन. अपना अपना कर्म करो और फल मुझे अर्पण करो. But the second line is most important. And Krishna has given this line perfectly for Arjuna. And through Arjuna, he has given to us. So we'll see in detail what is the meaning. And very important and very nice shloka. We love it. So translation is, you have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the result of your activities and never be attached to not doing your activity, not doing your duty. So, we'll see both the shlokas in detail with the translation, purport of Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada has given very nice purport to both the shlokas. We'll read, and while reading we'll see the details of the purports also, and we'll try to learn from this how we can understand and apply the Bhagavad-gītā principles from these two shlokas. So purport given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. The ritual and sacrifices mentioned in the Karmakand division of the So this is regarding Bhagavad-gītā 2.46. I will read the translation again. All purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. So basic and overall understanding of this shloka is, like, if someone is going to a well, now people are not knowing where is well and all, because people are staying in a big story apartment. So new generation, they don't know what is well. Well is like a water body, and we know as a many of us know, because we are from the previous background and previous culture. So we know, and in the villages still the people have the well, and well water is very good fresh water. So all the purposes served by a small well. So if there is a one well, then all the purposes means that well can be utilized. Some Matajis will take water to drink. Some Matajis will take water from the well to wash their clothes. Some will take to the water for the farming purpose. Some will take for the same water from the well for the vessel washing. And all these purposes are served by a great reservoir of water. Means, if the small well is there, then all purposes, the well which is one well which is serving that same purposes, if we have the water, then that also the great reservoir of water, the big reservoir of water, that will serve all the purposes of the small well. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas. So we'll see what is the purpose of Veda, that one should know. So all the purposes of Vedas, like all the Karma Kand and Jnana Kand, all rituals, whatever the Vedic principles or Vedas has given, that can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. So Vedas has different purposes, like do this for this activity, do this to get this one. So all these purposes, karma kanda rituals, where we get like when we want something, we should do or we should offer something like that for some god like that, or some all basic principles, or all the karma kanda ritual principles. Those rituals can be served when we know the purpose behind the Vedas. So what is purpose behind the Vedas? Prabhupada is explaining in the purport that we'll read now. The rituals and sacrifice mentioned in the karma kanda division of the Vedic literature are meant to encourage gradual development of self-realization, and the purpose of self-realization is clearly stated in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad-gītā. What is 15th chapter Bhagavad-gītā? 15.15. Sarvasya chaham rudhi sannivishto mata smrutirjnanam apohanam cha vedesya sarverahameva vedyo vedanta krudveva videva chaham. What is the meaning? That I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of the Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. So, what is the purpose behind the Vedas? So, to know Krishna is the purpose behind the Vedas. So, the purpose of studying the Vedas is to know Lord Krishna, the primeval cause of everything. So, self realization means understanding Krishna. What is the self realization? Self realization means understanding Krishna and one's eternal relationship with Him. The relationship of living entities with Krishna is also mentioned in the 15th chapter. What is that? Mama evamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manashashtani indriyani prakrutistani karshati. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. So this is from 15th chapter, but Prabhupada is giving reference in second chapter only. See, the in second chapter only Prabhupada is giving the reference in the purport that the relationship of the living entities with Krishna is they are part and parcel. Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke. So we are the part and parcel of Lord Krishna. So here Krishna is mentioning that the purpose behind the Vedas is to know Lord Krishna, and the relationship means what is the meaning of self-realization. Self-realized soul is a he understand Krishna and eternal relationship with the Krishna. So what is the relationship? The relationship of living entity with the Krishna is they are the part and parcel of the Krishna. So the living entities are parts and parcel of the Krishna. Therefore, to revive our Krishna consciousness, like to revival of Krishna consciousness by the individual living entity, is the highest perfectional stage of Vedic knowledge, and this is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam. We'll see this shloka at the end, but in the purport, next Prabhupada is explaining this is regarding how to achieve the self-realization, and what is like in the devotional service, how we can achieve it, the simple process of chanting. So okay, I will read now only. Ahobatasvapacho tu garyan yajjivagre vartate nama tubhyam te pustapaste juva sansu sasnurarya brahmanuchar nama grananti yete. O my Lord, a person who is chanting your holy name, although born of a low family like that of Chandala, dog eater, is situated on the highest platform of self-realization. Even from the low family, he can situate just by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Such a person must have performed all kinds of penances and sacrifices according to Vedic ritual. So, according to Vedas, the person who is who want to attain the self-realization, highest position of self-realization, according to the Vedas, he has to perform all kinds of penances and sacrifices according to the Vedic rituals. And he should have studied the Vedic literature many times after taking his bath in all the holy pilgrimage, holy places of pilgrimage. Such a person is considered to be the best of the Aryan family. From the Vedas, it should be from Vedic rituals, from Vedantas, he should be doing all these activities. He should from all this background. But in the bhakti principles, in the devotional service, the purpose behind the Veda is to understand the Krishna and to understand the relationship with the Krishna. And that relationship, when we take the name of the Lord, then we achieve that position. So here, first line only it is given, "Oh my Lord, a person who is chanting your holy name, although born of a low family like that of a Chandala, dog eater, is situated on the highest platform of self-realization." So one must be intelligent enough to understand the purpose of the Vedas without being attached to the rituals only, and must not desire to be elevated to the heavenly kingdom for a better quality of sense gratification. It is not possible for the common man in this age to follow all the rules and regulations of the Vedic ritual, nor as it is possible to study all of the Vedanta and the Upanishads thoroughly. Is it possible? Do we have that much time? No, we don't have time to attend the class also. So we don't have a time to chant our 16 rounds also. So how we get the time to read the Vedantas, Upanishads, so many things. So we don't have time thoroughly. So it is not possible in the age of Kali. So nor is it possible to study all the Vedanta and Upanishads thoroughly. It requires much time and energy, knowledge and resources to execute the purpose of the Vedas. This is hardly possible in this age. The even Shastra and the Acharyas know. So Prabhupada has written all these things. The best purpose of the Vedic culture is served, however, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, as recommended by Lord Chaitanya. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya came. He has incarnated specially for us, the people who are fallen souls like me, and he has given the process of chanting. He has given the process, very easy process, which is very simple. Prabhupada used to say that the devotional service or the process to go back home, back to God, it is so simple that we will miss it. That much simple process is given by the Lord. So, by the Prabhupada, through Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given through Prabhupada. So, this is hardly possible in this age. The best purpose of the Vedic culture is served, however, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, as recommended by Lord Chaitanya, the deliverer of the all fallen souls. When Lord Chaitanya was asked by a great Vedic scholar, Prakashananda Saraswati, why he, the Lord was chanting the holy name of the Lord like a sentimentalist instead of studying Vedanta philosophy. The Lord replied that his spiritual master had found him to be a great fool and thus asked him to chant the holy name of the Lord Krishna. He did so and become ecstatic like a madman. In this age of Kali, most of the population is foolish. We don't know many things. We are not perfect and no one is perfect in this age. Or this humans are imperfect only. We are imperfect. That is our big disease. Most of the population is foolish and not adequately educated to understand Vedanta philosophy. The best purpose of Vedanta philosophy is served by inoffensively chanting the holy name of the Lord. Vedanta is the last word in Vedic wisdom, and the author and knower of the Vedanta philosophy is Lord Krishna. And the highest Vedantist is the great soul who takes the pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord. That is the ultimate purpose of all Vedic mysticism. So, whatever the activities and rituals are mentioned in the Vedas, the ultimate purpose is to chant the holy name of the Lord, and that is the action which we do, and that action which gives us all the fruits, which we'll see in the next verse. That how karmanya vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. When we and the next is we should not attach to the activities. We'll see that shloka in the just 1 minute. But that is possible only when we chant the holy name. That purpose is served only by chanting the holy name of the Lord. So I hope this shloka is understood. Uh, all purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all the purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. So, purpose behind name Vedas is to understand Krishna, and to understand Krishna, we should be the purpose behind the Vedas is to understand the Krishna and one's eternal relationship with the Krishna, and we understand by the Bhagavad-gītā shlokas, and to revive that self-realization position, to understand our eternal relationship with the Krishna, we should have chanting process, which is very simple process is given, and that we are practicing. And then in the next shloka, Prabhupada has given again very important understanding, that is Bhagavad-gītā 2.47, that translation, you have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Means we should do our activities as ever prescribed. Prescribed means what? As a doctor gives a prescription. Prescribed. Someone has told you to do this, then it is prescribed. So, and that should be higher authority. So in our case, our spiritual master or Prabhupada has given us morning program, or Prabhupada has given us 64 limbs of devotional service. So whatever prescribed activities, that only we have to do, not with our own mind and own concoction. So never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your activity, not doing your duty. So here, one important thing is very nice, which I understood, that when we perform our duty, see what happens. Like when we do our duty, which we want, like when we perform, like in our daily life also, if we do the duties in our like material life also, and we do it with our desires, and when we want this result, that's why we do. And it is not like we don't desire, we should not desire, we should desire, but that desire should not lead the attachment to that work. And when we are attached to the results of that work, then it develops a bondage. And when we are bound, or when we have the bondage, it is very difficult to not have that attachment. So this is cycle, like when we bound, and again we will bound, like we will get bind in the, we will going into the net, that cob, how it he achieves all the net like on it. So that same way we are also going into the uh, that movement again and again. So you have a right to perform your prescribed duty. There are three kinds of work which is mentioned here in the Prabhupada, in the purport by Prabhupada. That first is prescribed duties, then capricious work, and then inaction. Karma, karmanyavadika raste ma phaleshu kadachana, and then prescribed karma means prescribed duties. Then capricious work means akarma. So capricious duty means vikarma, and inaction means akarma. So karma, vikarma, and akarma. Vikarma means the duties which we want, but uh, it is not sanctioned by the authority. So we want it, but it is not sanctioned by the authority. So we'll see that in the purport how Prabhupada has given. So there are three considerations here: prescribed duties, capricious work, and inaction. Prescribed duties are activities enjoined in terms of one's acquired modes of material nature. So according to our nature, like sattva guna, rajoguna, and tamoguna, according to the modes of material nature, we get some prescribed duties as per our nature. Capricious work means actions without the sanction of authority. And inaction means not performing one's prescribed duties. The Lord advised that Arjuna not be inactive. And through Arjuna, Lord is telling us, don't be inactive. What happens? Like we generally think of this shloka. Everyone quotes this shloka here and there. Karmanyavadika raste mahaphaleshu kadachana. Only this line they know. That karmanye, we should do our activities and we should not attach to the result. But how it is possible? Is it possible like that? When we do our activities, we will be attached. Why we should not attach? I am doing the activity. I am the cause of all the activities. Then why I should not be attached? Means I am doing entire semester or entire full year I will study, and after getting first rank I should not be attached to the, I should not enjoy that rank. How it is possible? Is it possible? Is it possible? Practically it is impossible. But by following the principles of bhakti, it is possible. How? That is only given by Prabhupada in the purport. That Lord is advising Arjuna not be inactive. Means what happens? in the battlefield, Krishna takes the chariot, or uh, Arjuna only tells to Krishna. Krishna was Sarthi, so take the chariot to the in between all the two parties. So two parties are आमने सामने आ गए थे सब. Sab Kauravas and Pandavas, they were like in front of each other. And Krishna takes the chariot in between. And what happens? Like, by seeing all the relatives, Arjuna get bewildered. Oh, these are my gurus. They are trying to kill me. What is the use then? Then Arjuna thought that no. By thinking of the result, he was not ready to fight. But Krishna was telling that I am telling you to fight. Then why you are thinking of yourself? You fight. You forget about the result and fight. Do your activity. Do your prescribed duty. As a Kshatriya, your duty is to fight for the Dharma. And as I am telling you, you should fight. Like that, Krishna is convincing here. And he is giving the reason behind that. Because when we do our prescribed duties, we are not the cause. Prescribed duties are prescribed by someone, some authority, and they are sanctioned by the authority. Like what the doctors sanction. Doctor has the authority to give the prescription, and he gives our prescribed duty to eat this medicine 101 after food, like after breakfast, after dinner, or after breakfast, after lunch, after dinner, or before breakfast, before dinner. So these prescribed medicines we take, and if anything happens, then we cause is doctor. So like that, when we do our prescribed duties, we are not the cause. And that happens like when we think that it is happening because of me, then we are cause. And when we are not the cause, when we do prescribed duties very nicely and we are not the cause, we will not bound to the result of those activities. And those actions or reactions of the actions will also not be affect to us, because I just did my duties. But when we are bound, or when we are thinking that I am the cause of all the activities, then we will be attached to we will bound to the actions, and we have to suffer the reactions also for that. That's why Arjuna was thinking that only. Are what will happen? There will be Varna Sankaras, and he was giving so many reasons as we have seen. So, what is the use of fighting? But Arjuna was not ready to fight because of thinking all these negative things. But Krishna is telling Arjuna that no, your duty is, as a Kshatriya, your duty is to fight and you should fight. So Prabhupada is giving here, the Lord is advised that Arjuna not be inactive, but that he performs his prescribed duty without being attached to the result. One who is attached to the result of his work is also the cause of the action. Thus, he is the enjoyer or sufferer of the result of such actions. So, when we are attached to our duties, we are the cause, and when we are the cause, we will enjoy the result or we will suffer the result. As far as prescribed duties are concerned, can be fitted into three subdivisions, namely routine work, emergency work, and desired activities. So prescribed duties also comes, desired activities also comes in prescribed duties. Routine work performed as an obligation in terms of the scriptural injunction without desire for the result is action in mode of goodness. Work with results becomes the cause of bondage. Therefore, such work is not auspicious. Everyone has his priority right in regard to prescribed duties, but should act without attachment to the result. Such disinterested obligatory duties doubtlessly lead one to the path of liberation. Arjuna was therefore advised by the Lord to fight as a matter of duty without attachment to the result. His non participation in the battle is another side of attachment. Such attachment never leads one to the path of salvation. Any attachment, positive or negative, is cause for bondage. Inaction is sinful. Therefore, fighting as a matter of duty was the only auspicious path for of the salvation of the for the Arjuna. So, by not fighting, or by vikarma or akarma, means capricious work and inaction is sinful. Is sinful, it is not according to dharma. According to dharma is prescribed duties. So that three kind of karma, karma, akarma, karma, vikarma and akarma. Vikarma and akarma are sinful. So we should not be attached to that. And we will get bondage because of that. We'll get bind to our results and we'll get enjoyment and suffer because of this attachment. And that is the main principle or main thing happening in this world now, in this material world. People are thinking, I am the doer, I am the doer. And they feel so much stress because they think that I am the cause of everything. Everything is happening because of me. So when we think this, that we are the cause of everything, then we have to suffer the results of that action also. And that is the main thing happening. And we should understand that then how it is possible to uh, go beyond that level. Like we should not be attached to our work, but we should do our work also. That is possible by chanting. So Prabhupada has given very simple process, that is chanting the every day chanting 16 rounds, and by following this principle only we will automatically get this habit of not being attached to our work. We think that, oh, whatever happening is my life, it is because of Krishna. Means I am not attached to my work. Like I'm not telling I am, but like when we are in the devotional service, we think that, oh, my life is Krishna centered, and when I am doing all the activities for the pleasure of Krishna, then why I should be attached to the Krishna for my duties. So whatever duties I am doing, whatever actions I am doing, that is for the pleasure of Krishna, for the pleasure of my gurus, my superiors. Then how I will be attached to those actions which I am doing in my life. So when we have the activities, when we do our activities without any attachment, without any attachment, then we uh, then we will be transferred to that level, that yes, we should not be attached to our activities, and we should, that when we, then we will transcend, and that stage will come only by chanting regularly. Chanting regularly means chanting the holy name regularly, attentively, and we will be self-realized, as in the last purport Prabhupada has given. And Prabhupada has given very best solution, and many people have achieved in this life, or they have experienced this stage, that yes, whatever happens, it is happened because of, we think that, or we say that, oh, nothing happens because the without the will of the Lord. So means the free will is given to us, what to do, what activities to do, but the actions what we do, we should not attach to the result. Means what? We should be not be in action also. We think that, or people think, many of the people think that, oh, we should not be attached, means why to do the activity, let's sleep, take the blanket and sleep again. What is the use of doing activity if we don't get the result? No, it is not like. Therefore Arjuna, Krishna is telling Arjuna again in the next line, that second line is very important, that don't be ma karma phala heturbur mate sangosva karmani, that don't be attached to not doing also, not doing. Krishna understood that Arjuna is not, he is telling that because of the result. Because of the result. He is thinking of the result. Are what is the use of fighting if I can't enjoy the kingdom? If no one is there, if everyone is killed, then what is the use of fighting? But Arjuna, Krishna is telling Arjuna that he thought in a very right way. Because Krishna understood Arjuna perfectly. That he is telling not to fight because of the thinking of the negative action. Like if I do the action, then negative results will come. So he was not fighting because of that. But Krishna is telling Arjuna immediately in this sloka only, that don't be attached to the not doing your work. So in this way, we should understand that whatever prescribed duties are there in our family life, in our spiritual life, that we should follow very strictly. And prescribed duties we should do, put our 1000%, not anything else. We should, whatever duties has given, like our spiritual duties also, and our material duties our also, in both the way we should perform our duties perfectly. Prabhupada used to tell that devotees should be perfect gentlemen. So in our day to day life also, in our spiritual life also, in our material life also, whatever duties we get, we should do very sincerely. And devotees are famous for that. Many in many places devotees are uh, progressing like anything. and devotees are achieving that highest stage. Like we know that many places, very big devotees like Gaurang Prabhu, then Amrendra Prabhu, then Amoglila Prabhu, then Gaur Gopal Prabhu, they have achieved a very nice stages because of their um mm, their talks. So we understand this and we pray for each other that we should chant attentively, and we pray to the Prabhupada. Thank you very much. We should be grateful to the Prabhupada. Prabhupada is there. That's why we got this uh, very nice devotional service. So thank you, all the devotees. Please pray for all of us. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. We stop here.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.